Okay, in this video, I want to talk to you about searching for internships or finding internship positions. Now, you can always use your local internship or job board to find internships. That is, any internships positions listed with professional organizations, community work centers, schools, and then your typical internship.com, career builder, Monster, Simply Hired, Indeed. All of these are fine sources. Well, the larger it gets, the more disconnected it gets, and the more difficult it is to actually get an internship from these positions. So, of those examples, the best scenario are the local job boards and your school job posting, your career center for finding internships. But a better way than that even is to start with your friends and family and connections. Okay, look to them first to see if they have any internship openings or have any connections that they can refer you to, that they can simply send your resume to with a statement, hey, this is a good student studying business with whatever concentration they're interested in this. If you have a position, please consider them. In that situation, you're using your available resources again to create an opportunity for you. For more information on that, refer back to our networking video for the importance of connections and how they can create opportunities for you. And then after that, after you've exhausted your immediate contacts, reach out yourself. Do some internet searching to identify companies that interest you, that have some level of position or what they do is something you would like to be involved with or learn about, and reach out to them. The best way to find these companies is to use a Google search. Google tends to work better than the others. No offense to Bing or Yahoo, but Google tends to be exponentially better at this. Put in your zip code and put in the key search terms for types of business that interest you. Google Maps will bring up any number of business within a driving range for how far you can travel to that internship. Okay, if you're able to move, then you have way more options than that, or live somewhere for, say, a summer and do the internship, you have far more options. But if you're looking to do an internship locally, this is an excellent way. Now, once you've found companies that interest you, remember this: when you make contact, you need to do it in a way that's going to be meaningful. Email is not the best way. While it is at least a way to make initial contact, it is certainly not the best way to make an impression. Emails tend to go unanswered. The best way is to phone directly. Now, phoning, you know you're going to go through multiple layers of individuals probably before you get to the person that can actually say yes or have you as an intern. So have your elevator pitch down, be ready to deliver it a couple times, but talk to them directly. Use your elevator pitch, tell them you're a student studying ABCD, whatever concentration within the business school, you're looking for professional experience. Have you ever hosted an intern, or would you be willing to? More often than not, these individuals will say no immediately because they haven't thought about it ahead of time, or if they have thought about it, they're too busy to undertake that process now. But try to not get off the phone until they've agreed to at least allow you to send your resume and cover letter. Don't be pushy in that way, but just ask nicely and say, well, if you ever do have anything come up, could I please send you my resume and a cover letter associated with that in case you ever have a position? Well, lots of times when you send this and they have time to think about it, many firms would like to do an internship situation, but they really have never thought about how to get it started, how to make relations to have it. So lots of times when you're the first person to reach out to them and ask for an internship, they see that as their opportunity to go ahead and establish that internship relationship with your school or academic institution. So they'll use you to help set that up. So be familiar with the process that it takes to get academic credit and things like that with your school as well, because they'll oftentimes ask you that. And if possible, if you find someone with interest, stop by their place of business. Have a resume in hand. be dressed appropriately, be willing to shake hands, introduce yourself, hand over your resume, and thank them for their time. In any of those situations, you're going to exponentially increase the likelihood of your efforts resulting in an opportunity that you can take advantage of. So remember, email is the first line, but it's not very effective. Phone calls add to the priority greatly, and of course personal contact is king. If you can meet with someone in person, it generally has a much deeper effect than simply calling or emailing. As for tips and techniques, just remember this: it's far easier to get an internship than it is to get a job. But this is great practice for what you'll go through when you're actually looking to get a job. So when you reach out and you're trying to make these connections and you're letting the work community around know who you are, well, that's great branding, great networking in itself, that these individuals now know who you are. So it can create a network for you. Once you've made contact, reach out to these people through LinkedIn or other means to make connections with them so you can actually stay in contact. Another tip: when you're emailing about an internship, always use your educational institution's email address, your .edu address. Personal email addresses from Gmail or whatever largely go unanswered. So because an employer is more apt to disregard that, but when they disregard an email from a school email address, it's more like they're saying no to the academic institution, and employers are much more hesitant to do that because, again, they're saying no to the institution above just the individual. Okay, the internship, again, because it's a buy it before you try it type thing, and it's a low risk situation because it's a temporary time period, it's the easiest position to reach out from. So again, you're far more likely to get an internship through this method than you are a job. When you're doing this, do not make the phone call or do not make the in-person introduction until you've practiced and honed your elevator pitch, which we talk about the elevator pitch more in a separate video. But the thing to remember is that you want it to be professional. You want it to demonstrate your value proposition, but again, you want it to demonstrate humility and gratefulness for the help you are asking for when you're asking for an internship. Okay. And then lastly, in any situation, always make certain that the individual has something to remember you by. In a casual meeting, it may be that you can only leave your personal card, right? In a more formal meeting, again, leave your resume, try to send them your resume via email. All of that can at least get the ball rolling or give them a more formal method of saying yes or no with regard to the internship. Okay, so those are my tips. That's the value of the internship and why it's so important in the business school experience.